Hello and welcome to Where Women Talk. I'm Nadia Jordana. My guest today is AJ Sullivan. She's a children's book author, and she's here today to tell us about her recent series, the Bob E. Bear series. Let's go talk to AJ and find out what that's all about. AJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to have you here. I've read a lot about your books. I think I talked to you one other time at the Deep Valley Book Festival.
Yes.
But tell me about how your writing got started.
I started writing when I was 6 years old. These books, however, started when my children were very young, and I was trying to come up with some new stories to read them for their bedtimes, and that's where Bobby Bear was born.
I like the title Bobby Bear. I tend to spread out the name a little bit. Of something I do is say Bobby Bear, but it's Bobby Bear, isn't it?
Right, and most of the characters have a first name, middle initial. When spoken together, create a first name. Like his best friend is Link N period Bear, so he's Lincoln Bear.
That's fun. I'm sure kids get a lot of enjoyment out of that association with words and letters.
I'm hoping. And for the various books, I've purposely looked for names that might be ethnically different, so that there's a diversity there.
That makes it more fun for a wide range of kids.
Yes. Yes,
so,
indeed.
When was this latest book released?
The latest book is Bobby Bear Becomes a Big Brother, and it was released, I believe, in either January or February.
Okay.
And the next one will be May.
Okay. And you have a couple before that?
Well, I have Bobby Bear Goes Fishing was the first one. And then here, I don't know if you...
That's fine. Yeah, hold them up.
And then Bobby Bear Becomes a Big Brother. And then the next one is Bobby Bear Graduates Kindergarten. And I'm already working on the next one.
What's been the response from children?
Well, from the first one, everyone that I've spoken with, when their child, either it was read to them or they read it with the help of a parent, as soon as they were done, they wanted to go fishing. So that was great. I very much appreciate that. And I've had responses from Bobby Bear Becomes a Big Brother. One of my high school classmates bought it because her daughter had a baby, so the grandson just became a big brother. So they enjoyed that. And my grandchildren read it. All but one is a big brother, and they really enjoyed it. And there's some funny parts in it that where he's being kept busy while mom is having the cub. So he and Grampy and Lincoln all hang out together. So there's some funny parts in it. And it talks about the stress children might feel about, what do I do? How do I be a big brother or a big sister? How do I relate to this little creature that all of a sudden is in my life, whether I want it or not?
Yeah, and children do have mixed feelings about that.
They do. And it's amusing that some of them get jealous of the younger child. Some of them just totally love on and wrap their arms around, maybe too tightly, to the little one. But in the long run, eventually they learn to adapt to each other.
Yeah, as a big sister, I remember feeling both those things with two different sisters when I was at different ages and depending on what was going on. But eventually, You gotta love them. They're your, your sisters and
Well, and then my brother was 9 years older than me, and there were two other children between us. So he said by the time I came along, and then my little brother, it was like, not another one.
yeah, yeah. Either the child has been the only child and is losing the spotlight,
Right.
or like you say, not another one.
Uh-huh.
As they grow older and have somebody to play with, though, they enjoy it.
They do. Yes. Yes,
Well,
indeed.
have you had any opportunity, maybe before the pandemic, to do any book releases in person, or has it all been digital?
It's nothing in person, although I did go to the local bookstore here in Austin, Minnesota, to sign my books. And when I went to sign Bobby Bear Becomes a Big Brother, it was crowded. I was really surprised. It was a Saturday afternoon and it was crowded. And I picked up my books and brought them to the chairs in the back to sign them, and everyone clapped for me. It was I was like, what? I was surprised, but it was nice.
Isn't that a fun thing? And come this summer, you'll be able to probably do some in-person things.
Yes, there's this summer in August, and then I think there's something in October. Deep Valley Book Festival's coming up again. So,
and that'll be in person. So I'll probably see you in person at that event. I intend.
Well, that'll be nice.
And what was I had a question on the tip of my tongue. Oh, how do you get the inspiration for your characters? And as you mentioned, the names of your characters.
Well, I put an outline together of the series of books. It's supposed to be 10, but I made it 11. So we'll see what happens. So I already know what's going to happen in the next book, and what in my outline, I just do a one-word description, and then I have to work off of that. I knew that, so there's not tons of bear species that look totally different.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, so there's polar bears, panda bears, grizzlies, Kodiak bears, brown bears, black bears. And I wanted to treat each as if it was an ethnicity. So when Bobby Bear graduates from kindergarten, his principal is Asian. And that's all I'm going to say. And the funny thing is that even brown bears, when they're on different continents, they still look a little bit different, even though they're all technically, scientifically brown bears. So I researched names for Asian bears, African bears, Alaskan bears, bears from the US, and all of the different continents where bears live. So I don't want to put them somewhere where they don't actually live.
That sounds great. And I understand, I must have seen this in something you wrote somewhere, that you have a drawer full or drawers full of unpublished manuscripts you've been writing all these years.
I do.
That may eventually see the light of day. Is that what I understand?
Yes. Yes. I have to continue working right now, so I can't write all day, every day, which is what I would prefer to do. But I love my job, and Social Security has decided that we have to be older when we can get full Social Security. They're pretty sneaky there. So I have to work another several years. So it will somewhat curtail my writing, but that's okay. I still write. A new series that will be started, that I've started, is about Bert the gnome. If he's ever illustrated or ever animated, he will be Bert. Bert. I am Bert. So I'm having fun with that.
Is he a garden gnome?
No, he's a house gnome. He normally sits on the front porch and guards the yard and the house. That's what gnomes are supposed to do, right?
I don't know very much about gnomes.
Well, I guess you'll have to read about it in my
There's
book.
always a way.
Yes, yes. So the family's already established. I've already started writing it, so I already know who the family is that owns Bert, and his escapades have already begun on paper.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes.
And what advice would you have for other authors, like you're talking about, not quite retired? It is fun to be retired and spend all your time writing. But what advice would you give to authors that are similar to you, not quite retired, looking forward to it, but have that writing creativity welling up in them?
Start now, don't wait. And another thing that I tell everyone is everyone has a book inside them. I was speaking, someone else interviewed me for a local publication, and he used to be in broadcasting. And when I told him he had a book inside him, he says, "No, I don't." I said, "How long were you a broadcaster?" I said, "Yes, you do." So, and I said, "I know a publisher." And publishing is so different now in the 21st century that people are unfamiliar with the procedures and so on. So it takes some getting used to and a little bit of research to figure out what you're going to do, but that shouldn't stop you from actually writing. That should start right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Worry about the publishing later. Get
Yes.
that book down on paper or short story, whatever it is a person wants to write.
Right.
Well, one quick question before we end. We've got about 2 minutes left here.
Okay.
Is there something I haven't asked you about that you'd like to talk about?
Children are important, and I think they learn more from reading and being read to than they do watching TV or playing on their devices. I think that reading is critical to their development. And whether it's my book or any other children's book, have them read and read to them, even when they're too young to totally understand what you're talking about. It's really important.
You know, it really is. I remember learning to read, and it was so important to me as a child. Now, we didn't have all of those. Here it goes. We didn't have all of those things the kids today have, but it was very important. And I believe it's just as important to kids today. You are absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The future of society depends on it.
It certainly does. And thank you so much for being on the show today, AJ. I'm so happy you could be here.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. It was good to talk to you again.
Yes, it's nice to talk again. And we'll be seeing each other probably in October, if not sooner.
And in person, that'll be nice.
In person will be.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, AJ.
Okay, thank you.